Hello everybody out there in the bookverse, it's Stephanie, and today I'm back with my March wrap-up. So the month of March was probably one of my worst reading months that I have had since I started BookTube. I had a lot of stuff going on and I just really didn't have time to do a whole ton of reading, unfortunately, which I am very disappointed in because I had a lot of plans for March and things that I wanted to finish. Now, I am filming this a week before the end of March, so I am still planning on finishing some of the books that I have already started, so I will add those onto my April wrap-up when I do that. But for the books that I actually read, I only have 4 to talk about, and 2 of them are quite short. So I'm quite embarrassed, but also it is what it is. Life happened. So for the books that I am in the middle of, that I will add on to my next wrap-up, I have The Fellowship of the Ring by J.R.R. Tolkien. This is the Shelf Space book club pick for the month of March, and I am planning on finishing this today, but I don't know if I will. Maybe I'll finish it tomorrow. I have some reading sprints, but this one will at least be done within the next few days. So yeah, I know I'm gonna finish this one. I am also in the middle of The Long Way to a Small Angry Planet by Becky Chambers. This is the Top Shelf Society book club pick for the month of March, and I am already about halfway through, and so I am very confident that I am going to be able to finish this, and the live show is on Sunday, so I'm probably going to finish it like Saturday or something, so this one definitely will be finished as well. And the other book that I'm in the middle of is going to come as a surprise to no one, and that is The Shadow Rising by Robert Jordan, the 4th book in the Wheel of Time series. I am a good chunk of the way through this book, though. I only have that left, so I am very, very optimistic that I am going to be able to finish this by the end of the month. So yes, this one is finally gonna be done. It's been a long time coming. And now into the books that I actually read and finished, and 2 of them can be found in Arcanum Unbounded. They are both within the Cosmere by Brandon Sanderson. The first one that I'm going to talk about is The Hope of Elantris. This really feels almost like just an extra chapter added on to the Book of Elantris, so you'll want to definitely read Elantris, the book, before reading Hope of Elantris, because there are definite spoilers in there if you don't. I really thought that the story was fun. It was interesting. It was different to be able to see what was happening through a different perspective than what we got within Elantris. But overall, it didn't really feel like it added all that much on, in my opinion. It was just kind of extra if you wanted it. So I enjoyed it, but I don't feel like it is an essential Cosmere read, but I do want to read everything within the Cosmere, so definitely was going to read it, but it was fun. It was fine. Nothing extremely special, but you know, just a little extra to Elantris. The next book that I read within Arcanum Unbounded was The Emperor's Soul. This is a novella that he wrote that is set within the same world as Elantris, but you don't have to have read Elantris to read The Emperor's Soul. They really are not connected. You're not going to get spoilers or anything by reading The Emperor's Soul first, if that's the route that you want to go. I did read Elantris first, but I really don't think it matters either way. The Emperor's Soul is a novella that follows what they call in that world a forger, where she is able to use magic in order to forge things or make things out of magic that shouldn't really be there, don't really exist, or to change objects in ways that she wants to. So like she could take a painting and she could make a forgery of that painting, that type of thing. I don't want to go into any more than that because I don't want any spoilers. I think that it is really the best way to do it if you go into this book blind. I absolutely loved it. The Emperor's Soul was one of Brandon Sanderson's best works in my opinion. I absolutely just loved my time reading it. The character work was so well done for such a short amount of time that we spent with them. I felt extremely invested. I felt like we really kind of got to the backstory of a lot of people, considering that it was such a short time. I loved the magic. I thought it was beautiful. I loved our main character. I think that the different topics that were touched on with like human nature and changing ourselves and the different paths that we could have taken and our different choices that we have made that has led us to become what we are was fascinating and really, really well done. I absolutely loved that book so much. Highly, highly recommend it. If you want to start with something little of Brandon Sanderson's to kind of dip your toe in, see if you like his writing style, that is a really, really good one. Next one I finished was The Crown of Midnight by Sarah J. Maas. This is the second book in her Throne of Glass series. This series follows an assassin who has to compete in this trial in order to become the king's assassin and essentially win her freedom. There is kind of a love triangle. Apparently, I'm not quite sure who all is going to be involved at this point, but we have our main assassin here, Selena, who is a young girl. I think she's maybe 19. She's been raised to be an assassin and she is very good at her job. Within the second book, I think we get a lot more backstory on things. We broaden the world quite a bit and we start learning some more of the schemes that are going on behind the scenes that have really influenced what is happening and that we saw in the first book. I thought it was well done. It was fun. It's very fast paced, easy to get invested in, really, really bingeable series. But I felt like a lot of the twists were kind of predictable for me. Not all of them. There were a few that I found were very well done and I didn't see coming. But the big main twist that happens at the end of this book, I 100% saw coming. And I feel like maybe it's because I've read Sarah J. Maas before. I know her style, but I definitely expected it all along. So that wasn't necessarily surprising to me, but I have been having a lot of fun with this series. I am looking forward to continuing with it. I think I might read the short story collection next. I'm not positive. I'll either read the third one and then the short stories or the short stories and then the third one. But overall, it's fun. I think it's so far a pretty 3-star series for me. Having fun with it, definitely going to continue. And the final book that I finished in March was In My Dreams I Hold a Knife by Ashley Winstead. This is a dark academia murder mystery thriller, and we are following this group of people who come back for their 10th college reunion, that's the word, type thing, and one of their number was murdered when they were in college, and it kind of went into a cold case and they never figured it out. But in this one, we are trying to figure out who committed this murder. I felt like I had such high expectations for this and I thought it was going to be so amazing because I have been loving pretty much all the dark academia that I have been reading lately. But overall, this was a huge disappointment for me. I thought it was kind of corny and cheesy. It had a little bit of a Pretty Little Liars vibe going on where it was like blackmailing these people to be able to like get their darkest secrets and taking them out into the woods. And like, it just felt very, very odd to me the way they went about it. I think trying to solve the murder should have been done differently. The way that it was done definitely had a teenage angsty TV show feel to it that I didn't like. I did guess quite early on who our murderer was, and I was pretty proud of myself for figuring that out. I think it was done in a way that it wasn't so obvious who it was necessarily. I don't know, because I did guess. Maybe it was obvious. But I did think that the different character development going on was pretty interesting, and there was an opening for it to have been a lot of these different characters. Overall, though, I just didn't have the vibe that I wanted. I didn't feel as much within this book as I have in other dark academia books that I have read. It felt kind of YA. The writing style felt kind of YA to me, even though it's an adult book and it's kind of has a lot of adult things going on here. Like, it wouldn't be YA, but it just had that angsty feel to it and that kind of overly dramatic, exposing people type thing going on. I also felt like their time at college felt very young. Like, they were stealing floats and like homecoming floats were their biggest deal. And I guess we were trying to get into their mindset at the time they were in college, but I wasn't working for me. I didn't feel the dark academia the way that I wanted to. And overall, I just really didn't love this one. I was very disappointed. So those are all the books that I read in March. I know it's a very short list and I am definitely going to try to do better in April, but no promises because April is also going to be pretty busy. Hopefully though, I'm I'm going to at least finish the 3 books that I am reading before the end, because I am pretty far into all of them, and I feel pretty confident that those are all going to be completed. But let me know if you've read any of these books and what you think, especially In My Dreams I Hold a Knife, because I've heard a lot of people really, really like it and it didn't work for me. So if you have read it, let me know your thoughts. And as always, if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. And if you want to see more from me, hit the subscribe button down below and the bell icon so you'll be notified when I post new content. And I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.